some love. What is best for business? What? Yes! Yes! What? Radio slithering. Watch out! Watch out! Need more. What? Viva la raza!
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Welcome to episode 4 of Under the Ring, the podcast that will tell you what you want to know, what you need to know, and what you hope to know about the WWE. We'll give you news, theories, and predictions to Raws and pay-per-views, past and present. You can follow us on Twitter at UnderTheRing1, on Facebook at Under the Ring Radio, and on YouTube at Under the Ring Radio. I'm your host, Gasper, alongside Danny.
What's up?
Matt.
What up?
Vinny.
Hey there.
And our very special guest today, Dan.
What's up?
I just want to say I kicked all your asses on the Survivor Series predictions.
Screw you.
Went a good 5-0. First place, suck it, nerds.
Me and Vinny tied for last?
We had Danny in second with 3 wins, 2 losses. And you and Matt tied for third.
Oh, yeah.
1 and 4.
Yeah, Vinny.
I like it.
So, Survivor Series, pre-show, Bad News Barrett returned. The newly reamped Fandango, who wrestles in suit pants and a button-down shirt. He faced Justin Gabriel, and the random match of Cesaro versus Jack Swagger. Damn it.
Yeah.
This was just a foreshadowing of what to come during this pay-per-view. Let's see. We got the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. Mizdow won. Finally. I love it.
Upset.
Great.
Upset.
Vinny, what'd you think about it?
You know what? As much as I didn't pick, I picked against them. I like that they won it because it's something different. It's something new, and it's not Golden Stars winning again. I mean, it's not the Usos winning again. It's something that kind of was foreshadowed because due to the fact that Mizdow have been getting pushed the last few weeks, especially Mizdow, I'm glad they finally won.
I was personally upset. I would have loved to seen my boys, Los Matadores, win it.
Because you're Spanish.
We had tacos
We
tonight.
would have had tacos
There'd be
tonight.
tacos here right now.
So I'm upset they didn't win. But again, I still think that Miz and Mizdow, I don't necessarily think deserved it. Mizdow more than Miz for sure. But I think it was an okay match.
I think it was kind of a boring-ass match. Way overdrawn. No real highlights to the match at all. We've said it every single week. We all hate all 4 of these tag teams. It was just a matter of which one is going to be the new champions. You know, I didn't think Mizdow was going to pick it out, but they did.
Woo!
So, you know, that's what it was. It was just a boring match tonight.
Me personally, I'm glad they gave it to Mizdow and Miz because, I mean, if you think about the past month, who have they been building? Who have they been putting storylines into?
Fuck this tag team division.
If you think about it, the only people getting segments, promos, backstage, any kind of interaction, the only people that have a storyline, Miz and Mizdow. So if you think about it like that, you got to put the belts on them because breakup's going to come eventually. They got to have a reason why Mizdow, is going to screw over Miz or something like that. Well, Miz was going to screw over Mizdow, I'm sorry. But, they're going to go at it for a while.
I agree 110%. Now it just adds a good storyline that we can follow after they lose the belts. Survivor Series elimination match. Cameron, Summer Rae, Layla, and Paige versus Naomi, Natty, Emma, and Alicia Fox. They clean swept the heels. Poor Paige. It's the falling of Paige. She's done. Matt?
I got nothing on this. Just yet another terrible match that we had to endure. An unnecessary match, in my opinion. Could have been. I would have preferred a better match with, maybe throw Cesaro in there. I personally would have rather seen Jack Swagger and Cesaro versus that match. It was just god awful.
I agree. It should have been a pre-show match.
Yeah, there was just nothing to make it a pay-per-view match, and it just upset me greatly. It was boring and.
I gotta say, for 6 months, they've had Paige near the top or at the top of the whole Divas division, and then all of a sudden they're having the Total Divas and Emma have a clean sweep over. I thought she was going to come back and actually be the sole survivor in that match, but I don't understand where they're going with her.
Emma had a fucking elimination. Emma had an elimination in that
The
match.
one who walks around and dances through the entire match had an elimination. I mean, that's just pure embarrassment. Not even one for a former Divas champion couldn't even get one elimination.
And Naomi,
That's
who's
bad.
never won a championship, had two
That's bad.
eliminations, including the ex-Divas champion.
I mean, Naomi isn't the worst of that team, though. If you had
No,
to give it to
absolutely
somebody
not.
there, Natalia, Naomi, they're solid, but that's ridiculous.
If no one saw a clean sweep coming, you're an idiot. I'm sorry. But if you tell me Summer Rae, Layla, and who else was on that team?
Paige and
Paige and what the fuck's her name?
Cameron.
Paige and Cameron, right.
Bye, girl.
See, nobody
So-
would remember her name.
Exactly. So if you're telling me out of those four, you didn't see at least Paige being ultimately the last one left
Yes.
because the other three are terrible.
Yes.
I'm just
I
saying,
agree.
You're right.
Paige
I
should have
agree.
gotten an elimination. She should have got someone
She should
out.
have won the
It could've-
match.
Alicia Fox should have been eliminated. Somebody.
Yeah.
That's what I'm upset about is that it was just a clean sweep and
I could have wanted it to go down to Natty versus Paige.
that would
Yes.
have been
That-
cool.
'cause I think that would have
Two
been a
girls
good-
who can really
Yes.
wrestle.
And they put on great matches before on that.
Absolutely.
NXT, right?
Yeah.
And
NXT, everything.
They
like
haven't
that.
had. They should give them a chance at a pay-per-view
Yeah.
with the title on the line instead
I
of.
agree.
Well,
a whole
even
first
now,
show,
just
yeah.
like the rest of the teams are all eliminated. They're both on there, and just say,
Yeah.
"Go at it, girls,
Solid.
and show us what you can
And
do."
there was a long time,
They had a lot of time.
time before one diva was even eliminated in that match. I couldn't believe that. It was obviously
We were
longer
sitting
than the
down
main
there, we
event.
were like, wow. The pizza
They
came,
got
we
about-
the pizza.
They got a solid
Sat back
10
down.
minutes
There was
before
still-
one elimination.
no one
like,
got
are you
eliminated
kidding
yet.
me right now?
Yeah,
I went for seconds before
They,
somebody.
second I
they
thought
dragged
it-
that out a lot. The beginning really took a while for someone to go down.
Yeah, Anywho, we'll move on to Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt. Wyatt wins by DQ. Danny, walk us through it.
I thought the match was pretty okay. I liked the pace of the match. I don't think that Ambrose and Wyatt have the best chemistry in the ring. Not necessarily like, not that they both don't have good spots in the match. It's just that I don't think that they flow as well as other performers do with each other. I thought the match itself was all right. I would have liked to see the match end other than a DQ.
Thank you.
But it just goes with the curse of Ambrose. He cannot win on a paper.
I
I
said
called
it.
it.
Just
We called it
can't
last week.
win.
We called
He-
it.
He
you said
cannot
it.
do it.
Ambrose does not win
Every
pay-per-views.
match,
That's
that's
why we went against him.
I don't
He
know.
has the Ryback 2012 to 2013 kibosh on
I
him.
agree.
You know what I
Win
mean?
every Monday night, every
Yes.
Friday
Yeah.
night, and
Look
then
good.
pay-per-view go bye-bye.
And you know what was disappointing was, them two being great that they are on the mic. I mean, usually, it's either good in the mic or good in the ring. I mean, I just thought they were going to go at it. I really thought it was just going to be a brutal match. I mean, just the fact that they built it up pretty well. I mean, they both had spots against each other, and I thought it was going to be a really good match, and I just was disappointed because
Double close.
it was a half-ass.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, there were certain spots, but
That was
it was just a
brutal.
half-ass match, and then they took almost more time to talk on the mic, and it had the whole DQ thing, like don't do it, don't do it, and it disappointed me.
You are not like these people, Dean.
You're better than this, John. You're better than this.
I thought it was a very entertaining match. I loved it. I didn't like the DQ ending either. What really kind of annoyed me though was the talking, but also what really drove me nuts is basically right after the match ended. Oh, by the way, there's going to be a TLC table ladder and chair match next month. I'm sorry, did we just fire everyone at WWE Creative? You couldn't wait till a Monday Night Raw for a perfect segment of which we will talk about on Raw. What happened between them? It would have been the perfect setup there to say, okay, let's push a story with this getting more and more escalating and violent. No, we're just going to throw them in a match again right here, right now, and do it.
I remember talking to you when I watched it. What was this Barry about? Why was he burying you in chairs? What was that, put
I
through a
think-
table? Fine.
I
Hit him
think
with
it was
chair,
just
fine. But what?
a time filler because they only had 6 matches to begin with at the beginning, or 5 matches to begin with at the beginning of the night, and then they added that terrible tag team match, which is next.
Well, speaking of time fillers, you also had on a pay-per-view, which is kind of a little bit rare to have a talking segment like that.
In the
That
middle of the
lasted.
match.
No, I'm not even talking about in this match. I'm talking about the very beginning of the
yeah.
pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Mr.
Right.
McMahon talking with Stephanie and
Oh, yeah.
Cena.
When have you seen a
That,
pay-per-view where
it-
that was
it-
exactly
it-
what
it
we've
was
seen
a
on
Monday Night
Raw
Raw,
for 3
yes.
weeks. That was just, in case you weren't watching Raw, here you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's a promo to sell you the main event that you're already watching the pay-per-view of. So
it was to me like, why are we doing this? We couldn't have a better match. I mean, this is wrestling. I want to see wrestling matches, not 3 hours of talking with.
I agree.
Your typical Monday night.
Yeah.
to get back to Ambrose Wyatt, when they're promoting the match for next month, I'm assuming they're going on the fact that they have a large audience there right now. It's free. They want to let everyone know, oh, you can watch this TLC match next month. Get everyone back. You know, that's the only reason they're doing it. It's not, when you think about it wrestling-wise, it's not a good idea. But I can see why money-wise, they're like, oh, let's grab their attention. Oh, we gave you a shoddy finish. Oh, so watch next pay-per-view.
But see,
It'll be a TLC match,
eyes,
you know?
The people
I don't agree with it,
who signed up for the free month, they're just doing it because they don't want to buy the network because the product hasn't been that good. And the only reason why they're not buying into the network is because it's trash. Like, this is free. Yeah, why not? We'll try it out. But what was this other than a Monday Night Raw?
It's kind of an insult to have it free being one of the top 4 pay-per-views. Like, this is free. This is one of your biggest pay-per-views. In this, WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, and Survivor Series. It's like, it's just like, it's a joke. Why is this free?
See, I would agree with you on this, but I was telling you this last night. This is just marketing stupidity. If you're going to give a free pay-per-view and say, we're giving this month out for free, for anyone who's on the fence about, do I want this? You would think that the marketing team would say, we need to put together an epic card, and you know what? We're going to give them one of the big 4. Yes, it's not WrestleMania. We're never going to give WrestleMania away for free. But one of the big 4 pay-per-views. And we're going to say it's free. And then make it epic. So that way, if you're on the fence going, I really don't know if I want to spend $10, you watch this and you go, holy shit, I need to get this. They didn't do that. This was basically like, we gave you a free pay-per-view. It's Monday Night Raw, part 5 for the month. Have a good night.
They
dropped the ball.
A Sunday Night Raw, and they phoned in one certain person to come in and save it and grab viewers.
Which I don't even know did that.
But
But we'll
Get
move
to
on
that.
to... And I told you this was going to happen. The Bunny had a match. I'm so sick of this shit. Titus O'Neil, Heath Slater versus Adam Rose and the Bunny. Then...
I don't even know where to go with this anymore. I don't know who the Bunny is.
It's
I
junk.
don't know if anyone cares anymore.
No.
I
Just
mean,
pure junk.
Adam Rose, he may be looking a little bit better. You see a little bit more of a heel character. But I don't see where this is going. Where is this going to end? Doesn't it?
I'm over it.
This is the dumbest
My girl.
thing that they're doing right now. I'll take another Divas match over a Bunny.
I was going to say that this should definitely have been pre-show. There's
absolutely.
no way in hell this should be on a pay-per-view.
Throw Scissor on Swagger.
Again, yeah.
I
I would even take the Fandango versus Justin Gabriel match over the Bunny on a
Absolutely.
pay-per-view. I'm sorry. It just
That's
drove me
true.
nuts. Like, I don't care who this Bunny turns out to be. If it comes out to be a good feud, yeah, then you push it to a pay-per-view when he's out of the costume. As of right now, no pay-per-view for this.
See, the only thing I like that they're doing with him is they're making him a little more aggressive, which I like about that. But otherwise, come on.
You're not
enough,
talking about the
enough.
humping, are you?
No, I'm talking about
That's
Adam
called
Rose.
It's
Yeah,
nature,
no.
Bobby.
Honestly, how in any realm do you give this serious pay-per-view time, but you put a performer like Cesaro on the pre-show? How is that possible? Why would you think
Not just-
that's what it's gonna be?
Not even just Cesaro. You have Swagger, who's a former heavyweight champion, fighting a guy like Cesaro on the pre-show, but I'm sorry, Heath Slater and a Bunny
Yep.
on a pay-per-view.
Even
what is-
even
what-
Bad News
what are you
Barrett's been out
thinking?
how long? 6 months?
I would
Nearly
rather see
6
his
months?
return on the pay-per-view too. Just him come out and say, I'm
He could have
back.
came out and done those promos on the show. People didn't even know he came back on the pre-show. No, people didn't tune in for that, really. I mean, I watched it, but...
Yeah. Junk. We'll move on to the Divas Championship. AJ Lee versus Nikki Bella. Really short match.
Hot.
It's okay, though. It's okay.
Bree decided,
18? No, not 18.
hey, here's the kiss of death. Kisses AJ, and then the rack attack for the win. The fuck?
A champion.
What?
I enjoyed every moment of that match.
I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just like,
It's a championship match, and you're gonna tell me you're gonna get an elbow and then your finisher, and you're done.
Yes.
I don't care if it's a Divas match. It's a championship match.
We had to waste 20 minutes on a bunny and 20 minutes on... well, I'm sorry, probably more on a Fatal 4-Way.
Hey, they had to cut it somewhere, right? I mean, a title match. Why not?
Title match. Can't sit over.
That's how I'm thinking more and more that they have no faith in Nikki Bella to put on any good of a show.
Exactly
100%.
the reason why I think it was that short. It was just like, this bitch can't wrestle. Let's just throw the title on her for a little bit, and she'll probably lose it next week.
You really put her on a match with AJ. AJ's gonna outdo her.
Oh, absolutely.
Not even close.
We'll probably get into this further when we get into the Raw portion of the show, but what could they possibly be doing with Brie Bella? That she's all of a sudden okay with Nikki, shows no signs of resistance, working for her,
Smiles.
no resistance at all, happy, walks out with her.
Well, they were saying, the commentators were saying on Sunday, like, do you think maybe she just decided to side with her because she had no choice? This and that. Like, Booker T was like, oh yeah, me and my brother fought all the time. We used to hit each other, this and that. But if someone hit my brother, I'm going to hit them. So maybe she had her back this entire time. And maybe it's just something to set up a feud.
There's been nothing to explain a month of hatred. Well, longer than that. This has been going on like 3 months.
And especially now that the contract is coming up to... It's coming up.
And today.
It ended.
Right.
It ended. So then what is going on? I
So
don't
they
even know
say.
what's going on.
Who the fuck knows?
I don't know.
No clue.
This Divas division is just as bad as the tag team division.
They need to push the good ones like Natty up and let her fight AJ. Her and AJ could probably put on a decent show.
She's a good wrestler. I don't know if she has the personality to capture everyone. You know, Paige, AJ, they feel like, you know, they have a little more charisma.
Natty is just
Natty's
the
just a
Tyson
technical
Kidd
wrestler, I
wife.
mean.
You know?
Good technical wrestler, put on a good match, you know. But she needs someone else with her.
Yeah, you're right.
They should really bring up some girls from NXT. That's what they should ultimately do. At least those girls can wrestle and can put on a show.
You have
They
Flair's
should,
daughter
but-
down there.
Yeah, but they might wait again until after WrestleMania. That's what they always do. And that's what they did to bring up Paige, and look where she is now.
True. All right, moving on. Team Cena versus Team Authority. Oh, it got interesting really fast. First elimination, Mark Henry gets knockout punched by the Big Show. Who the hell saw that coming?
Hilarious.
Funny as
Yeah, that's
hell.
pretty funny.
Hilarious.
After Triple H just pumps him up,
You go in there.
goes running at him, and boom, right in there.
That was, wow. Not expected whatsoever. The second elimination was not expected either by Ryback being eliminated by Rusev after Rollins curb stomped him.
A lot of
I
experience in that match.
I don't understand, like,
Yeah, there was a lot of
did
chaos.
the ref have no authority in this match?
Yeah, that was one thing that when I was watching this match, I was like, you should have had a special guest referee in this match. Somebody who can enforce something.
Like a
It
Stone
was just a
Cold.
ref watching 8 guys in the ring and just yelling at them. That's all he's doing. I mean, what the hell is that?
If it was me with WWE Creative, I would have found a different fifth for Team Cena and had Ryback as the special guest referee.
That would have been awesome. That would have been a great idea.
At one point, too, Michael Cole was like, I don't know exactly what point it was, but he was like, referee, you gotta take control somehow. And you gotta have some authority in this match.
he
There's
was-
just no, like, they were just like, okay, you can do what you want.
They were blatantly giving a lot of leeway to the authority.
It was bad.
You know, they're in charge still. It's still your job on the line.
I have to say with Ryback, though, I mean, the guy has been back, 4 weeks nearly? They've been building him so much. The whole show in London was pretty much all about Ryback. And the guy gets put out relatively easily. The
got
first
put
one
out 8
gone from
minutes into
Team
the match.
Cena. Where's that coming from? Why is Rowan staying? Why is Big Show staying in that match? What are they thinking there?
Well, we know why the Big Show stood there. But I have to say my favorite elimination was Rusev. He had Ziggler on the announce table, the Spanish announce table. Totally went for a body splash. Ziggler moved out of the way, went straight through the table, got eliminated via count out, which I liked.
But we all saw
Because
it.
it keeps... Yeah, we saw it from a mile away, but it keeps Rusev this undefeated shit
Yeah.
together. Like, you know, he's never been pinned, he's never been submitted.
Which is hilarious because you see Triple H yelling at him to do it. And then it's like, oh, yeah, Triple H was telling him, directing traffic, jump up, get him. You know?
What was Triple H thinking there?
Yeah, you don't send a gigantic guy like Rusev to fly. I'm sorry.
And what is... It's strange that a table is legal as long as it's an announce table. You know what I mean?
Again, the leniency from the referee on the team authority, you know?
Yeah. Well, I guess they can't DQ, and he put himself through a table. So
That's true.
Eric Rowan got eliminated by Luke Harper after diving high knee from Rollins, top rope, and a discussed clothesline from Harper, which brutal fucking clothesline.
Yeah,
That was bad.
That guy.
When JBL
bad.
tells you that, it's bad.
yeah.
So I'm actually surprised that Rowan lasted that long.
Me too, to be perfectly honest.
24 minutes into the match. That's
I think they just wanted to shock people. Everyone knew that this guy was thrown in last minute. They're like, wait, let's let this guy, let's give him a shot. Let's let him go.
I don't think he did that bad, though.
No,
I think he was
actually,
actually pretty good
actually,
compared
I
to
like
the
his
Blazers.
roundhouse.
Yes.
The roundhouse
that
kick.
was
He's
fantastic.
like as well.
Great.
I mean,
Especially
big
since
guy.
he's not in a lot of big matches either. He's like rarely in a match nowadays. I mean,
Yeah.
so,
Well, I mean,
you know, like,
I have a feeling they're going to be putting him into more matches now because
which is
he
good.
just main evented Survivor Series. So.
Yeah.
And then we had the heel turns of all heel turns. I've never seen this before in my life. The Big Show knockout punch John Cena.
What?
Oh my
Surprise,
God.
motherfucker!
And Seth Rollins pinned him.
I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I have one thing to say. Now, why I understand, like, he knocks Cena out, Cena's eliminated. So Big Show's like, okay, I'm just going to walk out on my team. But why wouldn't he just walk out of the ring, you know?
Grab Ziggler.
Why wouldn't he just stay there to help Team Authority win? I'm with Team Authority, but I'm going to go to the locker room, so whatever happens later, whatever.
Maybe that wasn't part of his contract agreement with Triple H. Maybe Triple H said, just not betray your team and walk away, and that's all he wanted from him.
When he shook his hand.
Well,
and
Triple
he
H
shook
looked
his-
shocked when it happened.
Yeah.
Triple H looked like he didn't even know about this.
Triple H never leaves anything to chance. That was plan B right there. To get him on track.
So that leaves 1 for Team Cena.
And 3 for Team Authority.
3 for Team Authority. Dolph Ziggler, the last one standing. And he eliminated Kane, super kick, and a zigzag. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. And then he just gets absolutely pummeled for the next, 3 minutes by Harper, Ziggler, even Triple H got in on this, and Junk. Oh, my God. Luke Harper, schoolboy pin, roll up, love it.
No, the
Would you-
schoolboy.
You had to see at least
Anytime the
one of those
schoolboy
coming.
comes
It
out,
had to
it's
be a
good.
quick elimination.
That's
It
what I
couldn't
was
be
telling
like-
our friend Brian. I go, this is how it's going to go. We're going to get a clean pin on somebody. There's going to be a schoolboy and probably an interference somewhere. And boy, was I right. Because after Harper got eliminated, they were beating the crap out of Dolph Ziggler. What was it, 3 refs came out?
Oh,
Knock
my
them
God.
all out. Each and every one of them.
Now, if you're a
God,
ref,
I'm strong.
why are you running to the ring after that first one? I don't care how much you're paying. See what Triple H did to him?
The shocking thing was Scott Armstrong was
Scott-
back.
Oh my
Where
God.
did they
He's
pull him
always
from?
back when it comes to a situation like that. Scott Armstrong's back. When a scenario where something big is on the line and something crooked needs to be done, Scott Armstrong's your man to come out. God damn it.
They talk about cutting payroll. Where has Scott Armstrong been? He's been collecting checks and sitting at home.
To do this.
Every once in a while.
Why don't they cut
Hey,
that
Scott,
payroll?
yeah, we need you in St. Louis. Can you get here soon?
Yeah, I mean, he's refed 3 matches in the past year and a half. What the hell is that?
Then all of a sudden, while he's running out, what happens, gentlemen?
Sting came out.
Yay! I don't understand
Some
it.
crow sounds like Raven's theme. I don't know what was
I
going
thought
on.
it's-
What about me? What about Reason? Chris Jericho, baby. Made
How do you
fun of him.
guys feel about Sting interfering in this match? Besides him looking super strong.
Okay. So now,
Where do we start?
now, here's the thing. We all agree that it's, obviously a little too late, a little too overdue. However, here's my opinion on it. When I first saw him come out, I was like, all right, you know what? I didn't say I saw it coming, but I kind of did in a way because they have been building up with the new release of 2K15, just spots on TV, spots on interviews, so on and so on. However, here's my look of it. The way I enjoyed it so much because the spot where Triple H said, "Do you want the inmates running the asylum like WCW?" Now all of a sudden Sting comes back from quote unquote WCW to get revenge. I mean, 13 years later, but to get revenge on when it matters. That to me was the main thing that stuck out. I was like, holy shit, Sting's back to get his revenge. It's such a key moment. It's not he's coming out just randomly to interfere. He's coming out to screw over Triple H, who in a way his father-in-law screwed him over so many years back. So that's why I enjoyed it. Not because it's Sting, it's because it's somewhat of a little bit of revenge in a way. That's my view on it.
I just didn't know what they're gonna do with this at this point.
No one does.
You know, is he gonna?
But-
My thought is he gonna be in charge? Is that why he's costing the Authority the match? Is he gonna be the new GM? You know, I don't want to see him wrestle again. I mean, I don't know about anyone else here.
He's gonna wrestle,
I have watched TNA in the past. About 5 years ago, he was the champion. They didn't tell you that on Raw. They never mentioned TNA
Well,
championship.
they mentioned NWA.
NWA, they didn't say anything about
Which
the
TNA did have.
Yes.
for
But
a
no,
little bit.
he was actually a TNA champion as well with the Main Event Mafia.
Yeah.
Even 5 years ago, he was actually able to put on a decent match, not a good one, but
I think with the right guy, you got. I mean, most likely you're going to have Triple H in there with him. It's going to be a good
He's
match.
too old. He's
At this-
55 years old.
But at this point, it's just like Undertaker. If you put him, I mean, now he's beyond. But like, say WrestleMania 29 when he faced Punk, yeah, I'm in there with a good guy. It was a pretty good match, even though he was over the hill a bit. You know what I'm saying? The thing with this thing, I didn't like the entrance, the new song. They have this commercial with this epic music.
Yeah.
They own it because it was WCW's. They can't say, oh, they couldn't get the rights to it. They decided to put their own stamp on it. I don't know what the hell that music was.
I'm kind
They
of.
had the epic
I like it
orchestra
better
music.
than,
That would have
like-
been a lot more epic.
You didn't know what was happening. Like, if you heard all that orchestra crap, you'd be like, oh, Sting's here. That's great. But you heard this, like we were like, what the hell is that? It was fucking Sting.
Well, I was waiting for Sting because there were rumors online.
Well, I was saying all night, it's either going to be Sting or Randy Orton.
Well, yeah,
And I
and
kind of
where is-
hope it was Randy
And
Orton.
that's
I
another
would like
thing.
that
I don't mean to take it another direction,
No,
but
good.
why is Randy Orton not showing up in that match? I understand you want to give the spotlight to Sting, but they easily could have ended that match with not Seth Rollins in the ring. You could have had Randy Orton call Seth Rollins before that, and it was Luke Harper in the ring. That would build that. And then, as we're going to talk about with Raw, we still don't see Randy Orton, but you know.
But you know what, though? I think what they wanted to really do is, I think they're really going to push Ziggler at this point. I mean, we were talking about it last night when the match actually ended and everything was going on. What did you say last night? That's just the truth.
He was standing at the top of the ramp, and Cena came out and didn't pose or anything. He just walked up to Ziggler. They hugged. And this is the first time that I've seen Cena out there with the camera not on him. The camera was on Ziggler the entire time. And you saw Ziggler thanking Cena. Like, to me, it's like Cena was saying to, like, creative, Ziggler needs to be the last person in there. I don't need to be the last person in there. Let Ziggler do it. Let Ziggler win. So Ziggler
But did he have his night, or is this going to be something going forward? Because I'm not going to go into Raw now, but it's not looking that good going forward.
I kind of hope they will push him back up.
I mean, he was in the main event on Raw, Ziggler.
Mhm.
So it wasn't the greatest match, but he was on the main event regardless. I mean, step by step, they might push him towards something else, hopefully.
I'm calling it Ziggler, Lesnar, WrestleMania for the title.
But see, this is the problem now that I have, because now...
Calling it now. He's winning the Royal Rumble.
That's the problem I have right now with this, because that means now Lesnar has to win against Cena at Royal Rumble. We've already gone 3 or 4 months without seeing our World Heavyweight Champion.
Who?
Exactly. This guy comes out with Paul Heyman. I don't remember his name anymore.
Wait, there's
Cesaro?
a champion?
No, not him.
WWE has a champion?
Yeah, believe it or not.
Whoa.
You know, Paul Heyman mentions him every once in a while.
Is
you
that
know,
the Divas
occasionally.
champion?
No. He's a heavyweight champion.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I have to check on this.
But I'm pretty sure the Divas Championship is the most prestigious championship right now.
At this point,
Well, we didn't
it
see a
is.
men's single
You know?
title match, and
So my issue with that WrestleMania match, which I would love to see, is it's going to be like 6 months before Lesnar loses the title total, and he's only defended it twice. That to me is a complete disrespect to the entire industry. I kind of want Cena to win at Royal Rumble just because at least a guy's
He's
going
here.
to be there.
He's
Who's
here, yeah.
wrestling?
And the belt
That's
would be
like-
relevant again.
That's
Yes.
like the Cena Rock WrestleMania 29. The people that room for Rock at 28. At 29, a lot of them were like, no, put the belt on Cena. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Rock wasn't showing up half the time.
It's true. All right, so out of 10, rate this pay-per-view, Danny.
4.
Ooh,
4.
Oh,
Ouch.
That's bad.
not a Sting fan.
No. I loved the fact that Sting was out there. What I hated was the fact that the reaction he got was garbage. It's Sting, for Christ's sake. I don't care how old he is. I don't care whatever. First time ever stepping into a WWE, like anything. First time comes back, and the crowd is almost silent.
that a clown, Daddy?
How?
It gets to the point where
doing here?
I like educate the people who are going there. Like, come on.
it gets to the point where we
Well,
have to
that's my
get
question.
used to these crowds, though, because that's just how it's been. This crowd,
They're
the
younger.
crowd-
They're not. It's not all like 20-year-olds and up.
It's not even that. They're not rowdy. It's not like Attitude Era where everyone
Yeah.
just wants to go there and make a lot of noise. You know what I mean?
No, my question was going to be to Danny. Do a lot of people remember who Sting is?
No.
I mean, he's been a couple years off of even TNA. Sting has been nowhere.
Well,
So,
they've
I mean,
been
do these people
advertising their
go-
network with him on it a lot, and his DVD. and
Yeah, but
everything.
he's
Yeah.
just
Which
all-
is surprising. Like I said, since he's been advertised and been putting, 2K15, it's just now you find him having in person, actually doing something on one of the biggest pay-per-views, and there's no reaction. It's surprising.
I wouldn't say it was no reaction. It wasn't
It was.
a legend finally debuting in WWE reaction.
It was just so underwhelming for me being a fan of Sting, like him coming out and just.
But once he got in the ring, though,
almost
there were a
nothing.
few chants like, holy shit, this is
Yeah,
awesome.
that.
Like, there were a few chants. So I
Yeah.
just think a lot of people were taken back by it. Like,
but if you're
whoa.
like,
Because the
if-
face-to-face
if you
was a
watch,
moment.
if you watch the crowd, and behind him, you see a lot of like people going like, "What the hell's going on?" You can tell.
Is the match
And
over?
they're only chanting because people are chanting.
Yeah.
And I also gave it a 4 because the entirety of the Raw, I'm going to call it Raw.
It works. It works.
The entirety of the
SmackDown.
pay-per-view was just terrible. It was not good. I felt like there was no effort put into it whatsoever.
It was free.
So it's a 4.
no.
Vinny, out of 10, what do you got for me?
I'll go a little higher. I'll give him a 6. I mean, like Danny said, there was only really maybe 2 good matches on that pay-per-view. It was the main event, and in my opinion, it was it was a tag match because it's just that it was new champion crowned, and you got to see some things that you don't really get to see on Raw. But I mean, otherwise, in that Divas match was cut short. There was a bunny on the pay-per-view. The Dean Ambrose match was a letdown because half of it was cut off to a DQ, which led to a burial of chairs. I mean, it wasn't great. So I give it a 6.
I'm going to give it a 7 because
We're going up in the ladder.
the pay-per-view was actually only built around that one match. Everything was built for that one match. Nothing was built. Nothing else was built, really. And that one match delivered, I would say. So I would give it a 7. And I'm taking, 3 points off since they decided to disregard everything else. But
I'm actually going with 5 on this one. It's, to me, again, the bunny, the Heath Slater match. I mean, it just, to me, killed it. The entire pay-per-view, the Fatal 4-Way Championship match, bored the crap out of me. I did like the Bray Wyatt match, and I liked the main event, so that's why I'm going a little higher than Danny did. So I'm going to go with the 5. Just terrible pay-per-view to me.
I'm going to agree with Dan on this one. I'm going to go 7, just based purely on the main event. That main event lived up to its hype. That was the only thing I was looking forward to this entire pay-per-view. Like, I could have skipped everything and just watched that. I actually went back today to watch it again because it was that damn good. There were twists and turns and heel turns and all this
And
crap.
it gave us Survivor Series moments. Dolph
Exactly.
Ziggler's coming out. I mean, he's shown it before, but they're giving him a lot, and Sting, of course. So that's memorable. It'll be memorable.
Yeah, it's definitely one,
Not
one
for
to go
only
down in
good
the books.
reasons.
All right, we'll move on to Raw. Oh, I don't know if this is correct. Authority comes out. I thought they were out of power. Why are they kicking off the show for the first time?
Yes!
Who let them
Always.
come out
Like,
the first
why,
time?
Why is that happening? Like,
Because if we find out in a few minutes, the guy who's running the show would not let them come out
absolutely
first.
not. Like,
Yes.
just I don't understand.
I had to say goodbye, Triple H, I had to make sure you knew you're going to miss me.
He actually
Which-
cut a really good promo.
Yeah,
that was,
he
it was
did.
pretty.
very happy.
pretty
I
awesome.
enjoyed it.
Very good, but you're thinking the authority's fired, and we've seen them come out and run a 15-minute promo about maybe the past year, and we see it again. And where's John Cena? Where's Vince McMahon? You see him in a backstage segment later, but
Which is awesome.
Where's-
I love that part.
where's Vince McMahon to come out? And I know we're not going to get him, but where's Sting? You know what I mean? Because what?
Stingless Raw.
What a surprise.
So Daniel Bryan comes back
Yes! Finally!
as a guest GM.
He looks
Okay.
like he's moving that shoulder and neck pretty nicely there. I mean, is the recovery going nicely?
I guess I don't know.
I mean, his shoulder and neck are supposedly healed. He doesn't have strength in his arm, and that's the problem apparently. So he can still do his yes chants and all that. But
My favorite part, where he didn't have to say one word, he just got in the ring, got in their face, did the yes a few times,
See, for that,
followed them up
it was
the.
too much for me.
No,
Way
I
too
enjoyed
much.
it.
it went on a little long.
too.
I enjoyed it though. I
He
enjoyed
didn't have
it.
to follow them all the way up in the ramp, get in Triple H's face. Triple H left. Then he got in Stephanie's face. And she
No,
left, and then he kept going.
But the reason why I enjoyed it so much was because, like Michael Cole said, for a year of punishment. I mean, obviously it led to a championship, but a year of punishment after burying him, just disregard, and you will never live up to anything, and obviously live to the championship. But it's finally, with him being out for so long and being off camera for so long, it was his moment to like brag and brag and brag. I mean, it's just like one of those moments where it's like
But he
you
didn't
get to.
do anything to
Of course
get
not.
that bragging.
but he's happy
I
they're gone.
still to this day think he only won that title because Undertaker lost that same night. It's the only reason.
No, there's no way
No,
because
and you want to know my reason why? Because imagine the absolute riot that would have happened if you make Undertaker lose and Daniel Bryan lose that same night.
But
I don't
No
think
way.
Triple H
No.
lets himself get run over at WrestleMania by 5'10" little guy just for him to lose in the main event to Randy
Exactly.
Orton and
You're not
Batista.
gonna
I
you're
don't
not
think so.
gonna put him against Triple H, one of the biggest superstars in the industry, win and then lose in the main event. There would be a riot again if Daniel Bryan lost. I mean, you don't
Which
put
is what
him.
I'm saying. Which is what I'm saying. That's what.
But I'm saying, like,
I
if
feel
Taker,
like that's
if
the only
Taker
reason why
won,
he won
if
it.
Taker won, and then Daniel Bryan lost, there would still be a riot regardless. It's just like.
How does the pay-per-view end?
If,
With Randy Orton there toning or Batista? Like,
exactly. Like, you're really gonna put Batista.
It's all about the Cinderella story.
I would
I mean,
cancel
it's
my
just come on
subscription
now.
right there.
There's no way. As I'm saying, there's no way
Well,
you're
back
gonna
then you
Daniel Bryan
couldn't.
lose.
Now you can.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I was locked in for 6 months.
Daniel Bryan comes out, calls out the entire Authority team, and has surprises for them the entire night.
I love
It was great.
I like the little part where Seth Rollins had a little slip with the microphone. The microphone messed up.
Yeah.
And Daniel Bryan's like, "Oh, you having trouble over there, Seth?" He's like, "Did you cut the mic?" And he's like,
controlling the mic.
"Yes."
Yes.
That was a good little on the fly.
That was
thing.
pretty
I like
funny.
those
I
moments.
did giggle a little bit. So he announces different matches for all the guys in Team Authority, starting with Henry versus Ryback.
The big
Walk us through
guy.
this.
The
Everybody
big guy
wants the big
came
guy.
hungry.
I'm sorry, but can we just go backtrack for 1 second of how when he made Rusev, he gave him the option to either say he pledged allegiance or compete in a match. Mark Henry started laughing on the side because due to the
Mark-
fact that he
Mark
was
Henry,
like,
he was
"I'm
like-
Mr. America,"
Mark Henry.
and
was
now
dying.
you have to do something for America. Mark Henry was just like,
Yeah, I don't know if that was some kind of
revenge.
character break there, or he was
I think it was
supposed
a character
to be
break.
playing.
Yeah, it really was. And we also
Yeah.
forgot to mention Concession King.
which
Oh.
Mark Henry loved the hot dogs.
Yes.
We all saw it. He was like, "Soon, those will be mine."
Oh yeah, I saw that one online.
So Ryback versus Henry.
Beautiful start to the match. He came hungry, threw him right into the ring post, and there was really no match after that.
Nope.
The
No.
big guy just demolished Mark Henry, and I loved every minute of it.
Revenge for
Like,
WrestleMania.
I
The
don't-
Raw superstar Ryback is back
Yes,
after his
yes.
hiatus at Survivor
I don't-
Series.
We'll give him 3 more weeks, and then he'll lose again at the TLC pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'll say that.
I don't get what they're doing with Henry. They're just, all right, Sunday night, you're going to go out running 50 seconds into the match and get knocked out,
You know,
and now you're going to get your ass kicked by Ryback.
if you want to look at it in terms of, like, kind of make it look like it's real, he just got knocked out, so maybe he's a little loopy, and then as soon as Ryback comes out, he throws him into a ring post, and then bashes his head against the security rail for a good, minute and a half of just pounding it? You can say he got a little loopy, maybe, you know?
I think at this point in his career, they're just looking to build younger guys off him. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they really care about the future of his character, but you could say that about a lot of guys on the roster. But
All right, then we get a nice little championship match.
Oh
I
my
love when the
God.
Intercontinental Championship is on the line. Dean Ambrose versus Luke Harper. Dean Ambrose won, but by disqualification. Danny.
Yep. I thought personally it was a good match. I thought Harper and Dean did a very good job of beating the hell out of each other in that match because that's just what they did. They just beat the hell out of each other. I personally didn't know how it was going to be when it first started with Ambrose being like, I'd say more like a unorthodox brawler kind of guy, and Luke Harper just being just this monster that's just gonna kick your face in. So like seeing them two work in the ring together, I thought was really good. The ending was shit, but I thought it was okay.
And you guys think just because of the ending, like...
It
just
was a damper on the match, yes.
Oh, well, besides that, it's just to add fuel to the fire of Wyatt versus Ambrose and
Which,
DMC.
this was my point on the pay-per-view. This is what old school wrestling would have done. Instead of announcing your match at TLC then and there on the pay-per-view, they would have had Wyatt come out, get his revenge, bury him under a thing of chairs. Then on SmackDown, Ambrose will come back and do something with a ladder or a table. And then eventually, whatever GM is on this week will go and say it's going to be a TLC match.
Yeah.
That's how it used to be done. Now it's just, all right, we're just going to sure load in the face and say it's over.
Yeah,
I
pretty
know.
much.
I know Harper just got the belt, but me personally, I was rooting for Ambrose to win the belt there. I mean, it's a TLC match at
absolutely.
the next pay-per-view.
Something has
When
to
there's
be
a
going
tables,
on.
ladders, and chairs match, there's normally a belt hanging above a ladder.
Usually. But this is WWE.
So are we
this
going
is
to have a
WWE
pinfall
creative.
submission TLC match? So basically it's going to be a hardcore match that they're just putting the TLC title on. Ambrose should win that belt. I know Harper just got it, but, I mean, they got to have a belt for that match, in my opinion.
I think that if he would have lost it, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal because the way that he won it would have justified him losing it immediately in his very first title defense
Yeah.
for it.
It did
Sure.
take 4 people to beat him, to beat Ziggler. You
Yeah.
know, you had
Exactly.
you had Rollins and J&J Security beating him up before the match even started, and then Harper by himself could take out a small army.
Then who
Yeah.
knows? Ambrose could have been the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion and the U.S. Champion.
Although in fairness, when he was the U.S. champion, he never
defended
defended
it 4
it.
times, right?
Yeah.
That
4 or
was
5
because
times.
the Shield were on bigger and better
Yes.
things.
You know, it was
the
almost
U.S.
like an
title was
afterthought.
nothing then.
So.
Also with Ambrose and Wyatt there, I don't like that they did the same exact ending, just reversed.
No.
Yeah.
He just buried him. I don't like
Hated it.
that.
I
I'm not a
agree.
fan of that.
I agree.
I don't like it.
What, are you going to let every guy just do the same thing every week to each other?
It-
Like, come on.
I would have thought it'd been better if, like, all of a sudden, Wyatt puts him through the announce table. Now, all of a sudden, you're introduced in the table.
And why do you even...
We have another championship match tonight. The WWE Tag Team match with the Mizdow versus Golden Stardust. I guess they're using their rematch now, but they'll probably face each other again at TLC. This match was okay. Whatever happened before this with who was it? Santino and
Larry the Cable.
Larry the Cable Guy. Jesus Christ.
Jingle all the way too. Where's Arnold is the real question. Where's Arnold?
And
Yeah,
Sinbad, if he's still alive, that might be debatable.
I haven't heard from him in a
You in
while.
my house eating my cookies? This match was okay. I really didn't care much for it. It's nothing that we haven't seen before. Except for Mizdow taking a brutal disaster kick.
Oh, yeah. that was
But
But what I
pretty
enjoyed was, obviously Miz is taking credit for all the work. Now Mizdow comes out with two toy championship belts.
Hilarious.
Classic.
That was amazing because I was worried when they came out of how would they do this. Would Miz actually swallow his pride and give him a belt, or would he just
I
come
knew
out
he
with
was going
nothing?
straight for the toy belts.
It was great.
Yeah.
You
I
did
think
call,
it was
you did
great.
call it.
I
It was
think the
great.
toy belts look better, personally. I like
I
the gold. I don't like the copper. I'm not a fan.
One was shorter than the other though. One strap was down to his his nipple, and one was past his nipple.
That's hilarious.
It was great.
And I love how
It
you can
was
still
great.
see the Velcro on the
Yes,
strap. So it's just like,
absolutely.
yes, you know how cheap they really are.
Good job, creative team, for once.
Alright, so we're moving on to the Rusev promo, which I honestly really wish they would have did a battle royal for the United States Championship.
I was just
Yeah.
going to say.
I'm surprised they let him just walk out after the whole Sergeant Slaughter thing and Jack Swagger. I'm surprised that at that point Daniel Bryan was like,
that was
Something like
terrible.
that.
yeah, like Daniel Bryan didn't just come out and was like, all right, well, you two have a match now, even though it's okay. It's Swagger versus Rusev for the 50th time.
I do think I have the answer to why they didn't have the match now. Because we wasted about 10 minutes of Daniel Bryan just screaming yes at the
True.
beginning of Raw.
Very true.
We had to sit through yet another tag team championship match that no one wanted to see. And there's another match coming up later on that I really am going to get angry about, even just referring to.
Only one?
Yeah.
Well, pretty much the rest of the night, but the bunny, again, we'll get to that. Had to be a room.
He's not.
So we'll move on to Justin Gabriel versus Fandango.
Again.
So
This time, it's not on the pre-show. You get to see it.
So we got the same exact match, but you saw it for free last night, so you probably saw it for free tonight. You know, he comes out, Rose is there, and he dives in the ring with this big dramatic entrance. He just stands there while she dances around him. Basically has the same moveset as he did before.
I love the leg drop, though.
It's, but
Yeah, I like Jericho's pretty good.
it's a short little, shot of
just gonna-
something to the gimmick, but it's just gonna, it's gonna
Fail.
drop again.
It's just crash and burn.
People are still singing his theme music in the crowd, though, which is so funny.
Oh, and they took that away. They took that away.
Da-da-da-da.
The one thing that brought him
Yeah.
To what he was.
fame, well,
Or is.
somewhat fame, I guess, besides a match with Jericho.
Come on, he beat Jericho at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
That was one of the most disgraceful things I've ever seen.
Yeah, well,
As a Jerichoholic, I hated that match.
Jericho's
That was
putting over
really hurtful to watch live.
But
We'll
you
move
were
on
live after about
to the Big Show promo.
Holy
Yay!
shit!
This was
Holy
awesome.
shit! I
No,
want
it
them to
wasn't.
have something on the
No, it
screen
wasn't.
where they have a Big Show cry counter. How many times this guy's cried, and how many times he's turned heel,
Yep.
face. I need counters for all of them because
But
that's the
what we
only way
did
I
learn
care
was
about this.
Eric Rowan does not like bullies.
I love that. That was so funny, especially him being on the Wyatt family who
This-
attacked people on numerous occasions. I don't like bullies.
I think
Well, now, don't you?
I
Eric
must
Rowan
say,
has the mentality of a 10-year-old.
It's just so funny. I mean, the fact that he was playing with a freaking Rubik's Cube at Survivor Series, and he's like, yeah, we're going to win, and he stands up and he goes, oh, yeah, I got to stand up now. No more playing with the Rubik's
But
Cube.
back to the Big Show, they have no idea what to do with him.
No, they
They
really
have
don't.
no
They
idea what
just-
to do with him,
He's
so
retired.
have him retire. Let him go.
and what was
No
that?
one wants to see him back in the ring because he can't wrestle anymore. He just can't.
There's no
True.
reactions to him in the ring anymore. It's just, everyone just boos him, just leave. Just do us a favor.
What was that promo? It was like a half face
Yeah,
He
it
was
was
begging for an
was.
apology. It was just it had no direction. It had no purpose. And the only good part is when he called Eric Rowan the upside down Sheamus.
Yeah, that was
good.
funny. That
Because
was funny.
I've seen the meme. It actually really looks good. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it. They need to. Big Show needs to quit.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
needs to
gone.
go. Brie Bella versus AJ Lee. Vinny, what do you got for me?
What do I got for you? I don't even know. I mean, that match was just so short. I mean, there was really nothing to it. It was just, AJ attempting to get revenge on Brie, and just, it is what it is.
Talent isn't sexually transmitted, though.
Oh man.
Let's be
That-
honest here.
That
So,
there's no way that was in the script. That sexually transmit thing. That is not. PG.
Absolutely not, yeah.
And at this point, I think she's just like, I'm gonna say what I want, and I don't think they're gonna do anything about it, which they probably won't.
there's rumors that she might be leaving. That she
I
might be
don't- I
leaving the
don't think so.
WWE.
I think she's gonna stay, but I think she's just gonna do things her way for a bit until they either force her out of the door or.
Well, my question is, where is she going to go if she leaves it? I mean, TNA's in all
No,
kinds
she's
of like.
supposed to set up Blackhawk games with CM Punk.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Phil.
I was gonna say she'll go be a wife. That's probably
Well,
what she
if
would
she
be.
wants to still stay a wrestler, there's nothing really to go to. TNA is on its last limb.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see her staying.
I don't see her. I see her maybe taking some time off
Yes.
Yeah.
and then coming back because, right now she's a babyface, this and that. Like I said last week, she works great as a heel.
But if she
Send her off.
leaves,
Give her a a month off, a couple days off, whatever.
but
and
if
have
she
her come
leaves, who's going to take over? I mean, at one point it was Paige versus AJ. I mean, but now Paige is in a joke of a match at Survivor Series. I mean, you're going to make her relevant again when AJ leaves? I
So
mean,
what happens
I
when-
wouldn't,
That's
I,
what
I
happens
wouldn't
when
say
you-
that's a joke of a match. I mean, it's just the Diva division. Like, there's only 4 or 5.
But
good
she didn't even
divas.
get one. That team didn't even get one pin. It was a joke of a
It's because
match.
the Divas division is not about wrestling. I'm sorry. The Divas division has nothing to do with wrestling. The reason those girls are there is for the show. The Total Divas show. That's it. That's the only thing they're putting them in. The only thing they're promoting. You hear it. How many times do you hear during a Divas match? Tune in on blah, 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 blah for Total Divas. That's what the girls are there for. For Christ's sake. The anti-diva is now on the show. They finally promoted her being on the show.
Hate it.
But she's gone down since, so I
And
mean.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you go on the show and there goes any potential you had.
Just like Natalia, we've all said she has great technical skills, and yet all you hear reference to her is, oh, her and Tyson Kidd have marital problems, and it's on Total Diva,
And she
Who
did have a farting
gives a
gimmick.
shit?
At one time, she did have a farting gimmick. Let's not
Yes.
forget that.
Yes.
What? Oh, no, let's not
But I
even
mean,
go
like,
into it.
who gives a shit about any of this of the shits going on a different show? No one cares. We're tuning into this for this reason, not to watch Total Divas.
What did they want to try and get the guys who have girlfriends to watch that, get some extra ratings? But it's not the time and place. It's kind of like, I'm tuning in to watch wrestling, and let's just look at this Raw. We had half the time talking and no good matches so
Not
far.
one. No.
And if you think about it, everybody on that show, pretty much, I mean, they have to be face. You know what I mean? Where are the heels going to come from? Because everyone on the show is going to get cheered. You know what I mean? Like, from the casual fans are going to be like, oh, I like her. She's on the show. You can't have a heel on the show, because it really is scripted. So I don't know what they're going to do with that.
I don't even want to talk about this next match.
Can we just skip it?
Is it a mixed tag team match?
Well, it's a mixed
It was a handicap
Mixed
match.
gender species.
interspecies. That's the term they use.
Interspecies?
interspecies.
Interspecies handicap
fuck.
match because one person was in the ring for all of
But who does
5
Natalia
seconds.
wrestle is the real question.
no one.
She was
because
just there to
didn't
be
Is
know.
she going to wrestle the bunny or is she going to wrestle Adam Rose? Because she didn't do it either. Tyson Kidd just tagged back in.
Well, I mean, Tyson Kidd got the win via pinfall with the bunny distracting.
Talk about a guy on the rise. He's won his last 7 matches in a row.
I like it.
What are they going to
Make it-
do with them now? That's the question.
I'm tired of this. I'm not tired of Tyson Kidd. I'm tired of Adam Rose and the bunny.
I think everyone is. I
Get
mean,
rid of
there's just
Be
it's
gone.
the same thing every single week where it's Adam Rose in a match, Bunny in a distraction. Now it's gonna be Adam Rose and Bunny in a match. Bunny wins the match. It's just the same shit, and I'm so tired of it. I really am. There's no relevance anymore to this Bunny. No one knows or no one cares who this Bunny is anymore. I mean, maybe in the beginning we were like, okay, maybe who the Bunny is. But now it's just like we don't care. I don't care who it is.
My biggest problem with this also is, again, we had to sit through this, the Brie Bella, the Big Show, the Justin Gabriel. All of these could be cut and had a great battle royale for the...
At least give us something. You're right.
you
At least
know,
give us
the
something.
US
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
you know what I
that
mean?
was
Because that
terrible.
would have been a cool match to watch. This, even if, Rusev still wins and gets out of it alive, it's at least entertaining. None of those matches or segments I just mentioned were even relatively entertaining to me.
Or you could open the checkbook and instead of Sergeant Slaughter coming out, we could have Kurt Angle come down the ramp, and I'm pretty sure that would
he's
have
still
got
with
a lot.
TNA, though.
I know.
You know.
Yeah.
But
Girl could
because
change
they
up.
didn't want to open the checkbook. He wanted to come to WWE. They didn't
Well,
want to do it.
there's also a lot of history between him and Vince. I mean,
Yeah,
they,
but it's been a long time.
No,
Him
they
and
still-
Bret Hart had a lot of history, too.
Vince and fucking Ultimate Warrior made up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those were like 10, 15 years later.
Oh.
Angle's not that long ago.
About
Angle's
13
gonna be,
years ago?
No, but Angle
About 8 years ago.
Angle always goes on to radio shows and just badmouths Vince though,
And plus,
Yeah, but
Angle,
he says that
Angle
he
has
wants
been
to
on
come back to
TNA.
WWE all the
because it's
time.
more. He's going to be more exposed on WWE.
Yeah.
He knows TNA's on its way out.
I mean,
You
he's
know?
going to go to the Hall of Fame at some point. Yeah, I mean,
He has
he's
to.
got to. I mean, one of the best.
I think the whole TNA thing is just tainting him. I mean, I know, Brett went to WCW and all that, but I mean, within the last few years, Angle has been on TNA. So I think that's also what's killing him. It's just that, between him and Vince, you could have a comeback, but you choose to remain on TNA for X amount of years. I mean, that's just my opinion on it. That he's still remaining
Sting
in
was on
TNA.
TNA.
Well, Sting hasn't been in a WWE ring before.
Back to Rusev, though, for a second. They're going for Jack Swagger again. Now, why are they doing that? We have already been through that. I understand they're running out of American heroes. That's
Yeah,
the point.
just
Where is
gonna
this
put
going to
money.
end? It's just never going to end, and they're
I
just
would-
going to...
I would
Mark
rather
Henry's
see
going to come out again. Big Show's going to come out again. Well, I don't understand.
I would
where
rather
he's
seen
gonna go with
Sergeant
this.
Slaughter just take a little beat up for what it was, and then Rusev just looking strong rather than Jack Swagger
But
coming
who
out.
do you have him feud with now?
I'm going to actually go out and say it. I would love to see
Sergeant
Ziggler do
Slaughter
it.
make a comeback?
No, Ziggler do it.
Sergeant
I
Slaughter.
would love to see, for the push of a lifetime for Ziggler, you have him. I know it's going for the U.S. heavyweight, U.S. title, but needless to say, lose it a month later or whatever, but beat the undefeated Russian. You know what I mean? You've already pushed Ziggler that high. Now all of a sudden he carried Team Cena to victory. He beat the undefeated Russian. And now, it's time to put him against Lesnar or whoever the champion is at the next time.
Here's my problem with that is the fact that what are you going to have to do for that to happen? You have to make Dolph Ziggler be the American hero and be like, you're fighting for America. The same bullshit that everyone else is doing.
I don't think so. I'm just
we're talking WWE creative here. It's what they're going to do.
Like we've already said, we're out of American heroes. There's no one left to really promote for this unless we start recycling Swagger again, which no one wants to see. I'm just saying give Ziggler, you know what? You lost your Intercontinental match. Have him shot the U.S. title. And then all of a sudden he just beats it. Yes, but I'm not saying he holds it. I'm saying he loses it, let's say TLC, enters the Royal Rumble, wins, and then takes down Lesnar after, again, these huge pushes.
That's a lot. That's a lot for him. I mean, he deserves it, but I don't think they really want him to go that far, honestly. I mean...
the fans do, though, I think. The fans are all tired of the John Cena. Who else do you have as a main eventer at this point? You have your John Cena. Rollins, I don't think, is a great main eventer.
No, he's not. But, I mean, he can fill in. He puts on good matches, but...
He does.
Randy Orton...
But again, who are you putting with him though?
Because when he comes back next month.
But that's my point for main event though.
Reigns?
Yeah, Reigns.
I don't want to see Reigns. Reigns is Cena 10 years younger.
Reigns is a main event guy. Whether or not we like it or not, he is a main event guy simply because that's the way they're going to
Randy Orton should have won the Hell in a Cell match back at Hell in a Cell, and he should be facing Brock Lesnar when he comes back because Randy Orton's getting this against the Authority kind of, pop and everything. He doesn't have to go face completely, but he could be kind of in the middle, and he can go after Lesnar, and that's a pretty believable, entertaining match that no one's really seen.
I've said it. My fantasy is to see Lesnar go for the F5, and then RKO just comes out of nowhere in the middle of the F5. I think that would be the most spectacular.
Has anyone thought of what Randy's going to do when he gets back with no Authority?
I don't think they have anything because he got hurt by the Authority. Authority is gone.
I think he's going to face Rollins.
Yeah, he's going to feud with Rollins.
That's the only one he can fight.
And Reigns is going to feud with Rollins.
So now, what do you do with Reigns?
Well, I don't know if Reigns will be back to wrestle.
You have so many people against Rollins, and with those two coming back, what the hell are you going to do?
TLC for the Money in the Bank. Bam.
Well, they already have one TLC match.
TLC
now they've been putting
triple threat match.
One of those kind of matches.
But I'm saying
they usually put a tables match or a chairs match.
Maybe a fatal 4-way match. With
chairs
Cena
matches are a joke.
No.
Well, Cena's already got a title shot. He's
already got the shot.
He's already the number one contender.
He's like Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, but
he's in that match already.
But if you really think about it, all the people that are supposed to get shots, I mean, Batista never got his one-on-one shot. Randy Orton never got his rematch for WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock never got a rematch. Who knows? People could be coming out of the woodwork. You know what I mean? It's been very inconsistent.
Well, I don't think The Rock's going to come back. I think that's one thing we don't have to fear is The Rock's not going to do this again. Yeah. He did his 2 pieces with Cena. That's over.
Which I'm kind of glad because due to the fact that
I don't think he's done wrestling.
I love The Rock.
No, I'm not saying he's done wrestling. I'm talking about sorry, Vinny. I don't think he's done wrestling. I think it's done with titles.
I hope so.
I could see him doing another match here or there. But I don't think going for the heavyweight title.
See, I love The Rock. It's just the fact that, over the years, I've lost respect for him. I mean, I understand, money is money, but just due to the fact that you say you're so loyal to the fans. And you know what? I understand you're getting to the age where, maybe you can't put on a great match like you used to, but it's just the fact that you're going to do movies, stick to it. I mean, yes, when he came to Brooklyn, that crowd was the loudest I've heard in a long, long time. Gasper and Danny were there for that. It's just and Dan was there for that. It's just the fact that he got his pop. He did his segment, but just that's it. You can't keep teasing us with things and then show up once a year and then not show up for another 2 years. Show up randomly. It's just I'm so sick of it. I really am. But the Undertaker, we know he's done. His gig was WrestleMania.
He's not
done. He's done?
His gig was WrestleMania.
He is not going out.
I don't think he's done.
The legendary career of Undertaker is not going to go out like that.
He's done.
He wasn't even all there.
But his gig is WrestleMania, though. That's that, though. His gig is WrestleMania. He's not going to come back to Royal Rumble. He's not going to come back at SummerSlam. His gig was WrestleMania.
His gig has been WrestleMania for 4 years. That doesn't mean it has to end with something.
And he got destroyed. And after that, that was
Then he
That
came
was the
back.
only
Then
thing.
he came back to WrestleMania and Brock Lesnar beat him, and it was the end
I'm
of
saying
it.
his thing was WrestleMania.
He
I
will
agree
have
with you
some
100%.
appearance in
Yeah.
WWE. I don't know if he's gonna have a match at WrestleMania, but
What's the point of having a match at WrestleMania? I agree with Vinny. It's over. It's done with. He lost.
because it's the biggest attraction at the biggest.
But how is it an attraction now? His streak is gone.
Because he's still a legend. His streak is living on in Brock Lesnar. That's the only reason he's a champion right now. If you think about it, I
But
mean,
what's gonna matter?
that's
If he
why I
comes
didn't want
back and
Cena to win the belt
wins-
from Lesnar.
Yeah, now
because
he's 22-1 or whatever, 23-1.
Exactly.
They don't have to
you
bring
know?
up that stat.
If he comes
always
back
gonna be
and
a
wins,
stat.
if he
I
comes
know.
back and wins, regardless who it may be at WrestleMania 31 or 32, whatever it may be, it's gonna be irrelevant again. You still have that one in 21-1. Like he could beat whoever he wants on the roster. It's still gonna be irrelevant. You're still gonna have that cliff note hanging over you. It's just regardless. It doesn't matter. I mean, obviously, when he goes in the Hall of Fame, congratulations, well earned. You've done your time here. You've shown what you can give into the company, but just it's 21-1.
Just speaking about the
22-1. Give him 22-1. I don't give a shit. But it's just the fact that it's gonna be irrelevant to whoever he beats at next WrestleMania. It doesn't matter.
I just find it very distasteful that he holds that streak, but he's only won the heavyweight title like 3 times.
Well,
That to me is
because
just like a smack in the face to him.
because his character basically was that was an attraction in itself.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he was pretty much knocked out. I didn't think a guy with that much pride would want that to be the end of his career.
No, because he wanted Lesnar to end it though. He reached out and said, "I
Ended
want
the
Lesnar
streak.
to do it."
But that
They
doesn't have to
picked
end
that. They
his
picked
career.
that
But
ending
what's the point,
hours
though?
before
What
the match.
is
Though.
his-
You don't think they would bill the Undertaker's retirement match on the card?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that wouldn't even be
But,
like
he's
a
already.
second thought.
It's almost a year since we've even seen him. If he comes out WrestleMania and says, "Oh,
You usually
I
don't
have
see,
one
you
more
may
match,"
not see
hold
the
on.
Undertaker until after Royal Rumble
Yes,
anyway.
but here's the point: you knew his streak was alive. You knew he was going to keep defending it. Now it's going to come out. I haven't been here in a year. I want to wrestle one more time at WrestleMania, and if I lose, I'll retire. What's the point?
He may take another year off. He may skip one and just come back for one. You know what I mean? Saying at 32.
I don't know if I'd even want to see it at this point.
I don't
I
want to
love
see
the
him
Taker.
go out
I'm
like
a
that.
diehard fan. It's done. It's buried. I agree with Vinny. Just let him be done with it.
I mean, I would love to see him again, but he was just in bad shape that one match.
Yeah, he
But he didn't
got
walk
really
in
hurt.
bad shape. He
No,
didn't
he
walk
didn't.
in
He
bad
was
shape.
just the hands of Brock Lesnar.
He was
He
brutalized.
walked out almost
Which
dead.
is why guys like Sting and Undertaker should not be wrestling anymore, because there are guys like Brock Lesnar. Ryback's not a gentle guy either. If we all remember how many people were really getting hurt about him and didn't want to face him when he first started.
Yeah.
A guy like Sting going up against someone like these two would be broken, which is why I don't want to see Sting fight again. I don't want to see him get hurt or carried out in an ambulance. Like
I
we
think
saw
Triple
with
H is a
Undertaker.
pretty safe worker, and I think they could have a good match. I think it'll be okay.
But that's
As a retirement match, I could.
What, Triple H?
Oh, Triple H
Undertaker?
Sting.
Sting, apparently he's going to wrestle one match, maybe two.
It's going to be against Triple H.
But
Yes.
Anywho, we got totally sidetracked.
Yeah.
We have one more match to talk about on Raw, the handicap match. John Cena and Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins and J&J Security.
With a whapping 93% vote, by the way. Second
Which
highest.
they
hey,
brought back.
that was one of the times I actually
WWE?
believed the vote.
Yeah,
because, I mean,
that was good. I'm surprised they haven't done that in a while.
well, Daniel Bryan, I mean, they probably haven't done it since he was on the show. That's why.
That's
He
true.
probably was confused.
And they really didn't talk about the network that much this.
Surprisingly. I think they realized how badly they fucked up
They-
last night and they
they-
didn't want to go up.
No, they mentioned it twice, the Uso documentary and Stone Cold's live podcast next week,
Mhm.
which I'm excited for.
Yes.
I just want to add before we get
Go ahead,
to the
yeah.
main event, the Ryback scene at the concession stand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Got
That
you.
was
You
great.
forgot your nuts.
That
The
was
muscle
great.
was
The
my
big
favorite
guy's
part.
hungry. That was great.
So, what did you guys think about this match?
Well, it's J&J Security. I mean, how much can you really expect from them? I mean, you haven't seen Jamie Noble or Joey Mercury in a ring since God knows how long. And it's just, you really can't. I mean, they built it up like, oh my God, it's going to be a big return. It's going to be like, we get to finally get our, hand,
The
feet in the
Shield
ring.
2.0.
And
Yeah, Shield
they
2.0.
didn't do anything. They just got
Gerald-
demolished.
Gerald Briscoe and Pat Patterson.
They
Oh
just
my
got demolished. So, I mean, for them, it just wasn't much. It was just exciting, but it wasn't much for them.
I'm just happy to see Dolph Ziggler in the main event of Raw.
Exactly.
But,
I said before,
see,
exactly.
now that's one thing. The way last night ended, I mean, he was in the ring taking a beating from Jamie Noble. he was taking a beating, and he had to tag out for Cena.
Well,
Cena was coming in for the hot tag. The guy who dominated Survivor Series is getting beat up by Jamie Noble.
In all fairness, you forget the clothesline that Rollins did give him, illegally when the ref wasn't looking. There was a lot of outside interference playing in between
Jamie
too,
Noble.
but still.
Jamie Noble cornering him, and Dolph Ziggler struggling to get the tag off of Jamie Noble.
Let me ninja your minds here for a second.
Oh boy!
All right,
here we go.
We're all on a pretty good consensus right now that this Raw was pretty awful, right?
It was
It was pretty shitty.
We can agree
right?
that.
Right?
Storyline
Okay.
is garbage.
Now, this is the first Raw since the Authority has been out of power.
And I missed him already.
And yes, now
We got them though.
that being said, how long until we all fully admit, okay, H, you might be right.
I've already said it. By the end of this night, I actually said like I said earlier, Triple H's last words, you're going to miss us. You're going to be begging for us to come back. And I'll be honest, after that main event, I'm sitting there going, yeah, I am. And then I heard the noise that really made me cringe. And I pray to God it was only one time. Gentlemen.
Oh, you mean that noise?
The Anonymous GM is back next week.
We're flickering the lights too. You can't see us
Can't see, but
endlessly.
we are going.
It's back in order. Will be restored next week, and I'm ready to shoot somebody because we didn't really
received
We did.
information.
We did.
Some research. They said that they never officially said it was Hornswoggle. It just
They
looked
pulled
like
Hornswoggle under the ring. He had
Yes.
a laptop in his hand. I remember
But
that.
they said that they weren't like. I was doing some research and they said it wasn't really like 100%.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it was him.
No.
WWE,
Like, he
you
was
do
like,
that
yeah.
research? Come on.
I mean,
I'm just furious about this, and I miss the Authority.
it's gonna be, I guess, enjoyable to watch next week just to see what happens. If it's actually gonna be the anonymous GM, or it's just gonna be someone like maybe a Bad News Barrett being the GM because he still can't wrestle yet. And I mean that would be great.
What I
Maybe.
don't understand is we're watching a show right now that pretty much is catered to kids. Basically, WWE was like this 1994 and 1995. There was no general manager. They showed the matches on the screen. They came out and wrestled.
Mhm.
I mean, why can't they go back to something like that? They're already doing a kid-friendly show. They can't do, like, the Authority pissing people off and, people driving in beer trucks and things like that anymore.
The Authority pissing people off. I think it's going to happen is, watching wrestling for as long as I have, it's always kind of gone face to heel who's in charge of the show. It's kind of like, Vince McMahon's in charge, then you get someone popular in charge. The Authority for a year and a half was in charge. Now they're going to put someone popular in for a small amount of time, and then we'll finally get the Authority back, hopefully.
Popular? The anonymous Raw general manager? I hope not.
Well, right now I don't think we know what the hell they're doing. I don't even know if they know what the hell they're doing with it. I don't know. Are we just going to get a series of GMs that are just guest GMs?
I'd rather that than the computer. The
Yeah,
computer
I
is
rather
ridiculous.
have Pee Wee Herman for the
It's a talking computer controlling Raw.
But of all else, I would rather have the Authority out of all that then.
See, that's the thing about us wrestling fans. It's just like at one point we're like, I hate the Authority. I don't want them in power anymore. I want something new.
But at some
I
point,
And then as
never
soon as something
I
else
never complained
happens,
about the
and we're
Authority.
all like, oh shit, I want Triple H back.
at some point, the heels have to get, as R-Truth would say, got.
Yeah.
At some point, it has to end.
I
Because the
just,
heels just can't keep winning and winning and winning because that's just not how wrestling is built.
I just wanted to correct you guys. I've always been an Authority man. Much like JBL, I was rooting for them the entire time. Me and Vinny put our votes with them on...
What happened?
And we were lost.
You lost.
I'm an Authority man
Well,
myself.
I'm a Triple H guy. I just
Huh?
can't stand Stephanie.
Oh,
I
I
hate
no
her.
one likes
I
Stephanie.
absolutely hate her.
She's on the microphone like
She has her decent spots.
I'm not saying that she
But-
has no charisma and she can't talk in the microphone, but her voice is just like, oh my god, it's terrible.
You know what? We did forget to talk about Vince's segment, guys.
Oh yeah,
That was
Limo.
kind of
All of
the
the-
limo.
I'm sorry I have to spend Thanksgiving
Thanks.
with you two.
that was fun.
And this,
But what my question is, and this is, I don't know if anyone else picked up on it. One of Vince's last words with him were, "You got to fix this. You got to make this right." How? You put a stipulation only John Cena can reinstate you. How do you make it right to Stephanie and Triple H?
Yeah,
What
that
is
was-
his
that was a
plan?
good- that was a good point.
Did anyone else think about that?
I didn't think about it. What I was thinking was, why is Vince McMahon being all buddy-buddy and getting in the limo with them? This is the guy that cost him the job. He put them on the line in the match in the first
He's
place.
daddy.
He put it on the line.
Get in the car! Get in the car!
He put their jobs on the line and basically got them
He
fired.
was testing them. He told them, I gave you insurmountable odds. I wanted to build your character, make you stronger.
You blew
and
it.
you blew it.
You blew
I'm just not a fan of them getting in the same line. I understand Triple H was being a little distant. He wasn't looking at him, anything like that. But they get in the same limo together after the guy basically got them fired the night before. I thought
It's still
Vince.
family.
I
you
thought
know?
Vince was taking a side a little more against them before that segment.
Yeah,
didn't
I
realize
was
that.
hoping that he would go his little rant and speech and then like leave them at the arena and be like, find your own way home.
It
Yes,
seemed-
that would have been
Yeah,
classic.
that would've
Vince.
been good.
But again, we're
But the
PG-13
kids,
now.
you can't. Why does Daddy leave them?
That
Would
was
you
funny,
do
yeah.
that to me, Mommy?
Would you leave me at the arena? Fuck.
Uh,
So that ends Raw.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Shit.
Yes.
So we have a thing called the Superstar of the Week, where last week was HBK, and we decided this week will be The Rock. Going big or going home early. So Vin, what's your match?
Well, I'm going back to Rock Triple H Backlash. And I'm going to that match due to the fact that it was such a great build-up, due to the fact that they got, they had Shane as the referee, as special guest. They had Vince in Triple H's corner. They had Stone Cold somewhat in The Rock's corner, but they didn't know if he really was going to, defend The Rock and be on his side. So the SmackDown right before the pay-per-view, Stone Cold comes out in a construction vehicle and destroys the DX Express. So, he goes, well, the only side I'm on is my side. So we didn't know what Awesome was going to do and then all of a sudden the match happens. Great match as is. Stone Cold comes out, helps The Rock. Rock miraculously wins the WWF Championship. I just thought that was a great match. I thought it was a great promo. I just overall package put together was just phenomenal. So that was just one of my favorite matches of all time.
All right, Benny.
for me personally, it has to be WrestleMania 18, Hogan versus The Rock. That alone, icon versus icon, the build up for those two guys meeting in the ring, the electricity in the air when they're standing in the ring for what seemed like an hour, just looking at each other, taking it all in. It was incredible seeing Hulk Hogan and The Rock in the ring together. And I don't know if anyone remembers, but there was a match after that. Who cares?
Yeah.
That was the main event. That for me was for me being the wrestling fan that I am was the defining Rock match for me. That was for me. That's my pick.
Matt?
I'm going to actually have to go with the Royal Rumble 1999 match against Mankind. Because of 10 steel chair shots to the head.
To the head.
And Mick Foley's little children sitting right in the front row, screaming and crying that Daddy's getting beaten. It was an I Quit match. He did not quit, though. He just kind of passed out, and then a voice appeared and said,
recording.
I quit.
Which, it was just a great match for me. It was just ultimate violence. And I believe that was the match that when you watch the documentary on it, they're showing him getting stitched up in the back. And all the wrestlers going, seriously, dude? What, did you really do that? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, even Stone Cold walked up and was like, really? So, it was my defining Rock match.
Okay.
I like those choices. I probably would have chose one or two of them over mine, but just for the sake of, I'm picking The Rock versus John Cena at WrestleMania 28.
He says that with his strong.
I mean, it wasn't the greatest wrestling match ever, but I mean, if you go back and look at The Rock's history, the memorable moments of The Rock are more of his promos, his entertainment, and that's what this was. I mean, it was a year build-up for Miami WrestleMania 28. They announced it a year in advance. I mean, I think it delivered the match. I mean, the year after, I don't think it delivered at all. I mean, I was there. It was not very good. But this match, I think it was an epic confrontation. The Rock was gone from WrestleMania for 8 years, and I really think it proved that The Rock was still relevant.
He still got it.
Yeah, exactly. He was good.
It was an okay match. I agree with you.
But it just had the big story, you know what I mean? It was a huge deal. I mean,
Absolutely.
epic moment.
For me, I'm going WrestleMania 17, Rock versus Austin. Even though The Rock didn't win this match, it was the build up to the match, the promos, that package before with Limp Bizkit playing in the background. For me, that's always going to stick out as a wrestling fan. Austin had that heel turn at the end. He hit The Rock with 16 chair shots.
Wow.
16 chair shots to end the match.
Karma, he got it back, The Rock.
He had it coming.
And then some.
And then some. I just think this match was phenomenal. It's so much fun to watch. Even the build up to the pay-per-view and the pay-per-view itself, that WrestleMania itself was just off the chain, as the kids would say nowadays.
Yo.
All right, well, leave us a comment on the YouTube of our Superstar of the Week. What we like to do is a random question and keep everyone on their toes, and Matt's got a good one this week.
Okay. Gentlemen, your favorite feud of all time, but one stipulation. You may not answer Stone Cold and Vince.
Okay.
Because that would be too easy for any of us to say.
Greatest feud of
Sounds
all
good.
time.
Could be anything you want, tag team, doesn't matter. Just favorite feud.
I'll start it off.
Good.
Hardy Boys versus the Dudley Boys.
Excellent choice.
They always put on great matches. Even the TLC, it's using other tag teams, but those matches were phenomenal. They were once in a lifetime matches that can never be recreated, as hard as they have tried, even with the same exact teams. But it's just that feud, phenomenal.
Dan?
Oh, this is very hard for me.
You want me to come back to you in a minute?
Yes, please
Dan?
come back to me.
You got one on?
I'm going to take Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart on this one.
Oh, beautiful.
Because
I love that.
Their matches every time were just amazing. They're just two amazing wrestlers. Different styles, work perfectly together. And then if you take all of the heat backstage, Bret Hart not wanting to drop the title to him not wanting HBK not wanting to drop the title to Bret Hart, there was just so much anger, and but every time they were on camera, it delivered, and it was amazing.
That was a really good one, Vin.
You know what? This is going to be a really short one, but it goes back, to one of the most original matches. I'm going to say Taker and Michaels. Now, the reason why I say that is because, like I said, it goes back to the first Hell in a Cell. So, in a way, they put on one of, if not the greatest WrestleMania matches at 25, and then it all ended for Shawn Michaels at 26. So, for them two, just to go back, and then obviously Shawn Michaels got involved in the Triple H match as referee for the quote-unquote end of an era. So, for those two just be put together in so many different ways in one, one piece, it's a great feud.
Another good answer, Dan. You got one yet, or?
Yeah, I've got to say for me, it's always been Rock Austin.
Hey.
Rock Austin, that rivalry between those two, just them beating the hell out of each other, the promos between each other, just so good. That's for me is my favorite rivalry for sure.
Personally, for me, Gasper kind of read my mind. Just one little thing. I did have the Hardy Boys in mind, but Edge and Christian.
Yep.
Yeah.
And for all the same reasons you said, because those three tag teams combined, they led to the very first TLC match. We never had this before them. You had Edge and Christian who were doing the concertos to everyone, bringing the chairs. You had the Hardy Boys with the ladders, and obviously the Dudley Boys with the tables, and created anarchy completely, because that first ever TLC match was just brutal to watch, and
Phenomenal.
they had such chemistry together. Edge and Christian on the microphones were some of my favorite promos that they ever cut, with the 5-second pose. It was just, for me, a lot of fun watching them go at it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for listening, guys. This was a great episode. I'd like to thank Chucky Madness for our kick-ass theme song. You can follow him on YouTube at Chucky Madness or on Twitter at Chucky Madness. You can follow us on Facebook at Under the Ring Radio, on YouTube at Under the Ring Radio, on the Twitter at Under the Ring 1. Why the one? Because we're the only one that matters. Be good, guys.